Hey, Justin Chamness here. I'm back, and we're gonna talk about sandwich lease options today. That's right, passive income with sandwich lease options. But first, how about a sandwich joke? All right, are you ready for a sandwich joke? Here it is. What's a sandwich's favorite type of music? What's a sandwich's favorite type of music? Can anyone guess? Can you guess? You know what it is? A sandwich's favorite type of music, which your sandwich prefers to listen to while you eat it. Anybody know? I do. A rap.
What about virtual lease option wholesaling? Yeah, check it out. Free documents package for you at shutupmoney.com. Might as well go now.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm back, and we're here to talk about sandwich lease options. We're here to talk about the 3 profit centers that there are in sandwich lease options, because sandwiches are the most lucrative. I believe they are the most money-making strategy that there is. You get to control everything. You have to own nothing. You know, there's a lot of relief that comes in owning nothing. You get to own nothing. That's right. You get to control everything. You get to make money off properties that belong to other people. That's nice. That's nice. But what makes them the most lucrative? Why do I want to write as many sandwich deals as I possibly can? Well, because there's 3 profit centers. I get paid, and then I get paid on the monthly, and then I get paid again when the tenant buyer buys. I cash out equity. And so today I want to talk about those 3 profit centers with you, and I want to break them down a little bit. But let's first just do the theory work here and talk about what they mean definition-wise. And I've got that on the screen. 3 profit centers in a sandwich lease option. All right, 3 profit centers. The upfront option fee. All right. The monthly rental spread, number 2. Number 3, equity growth. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Nope, that's it. That's the 3. All right. So what do we mean by upfront option fee? Well, an upfront option fee is what we talk about all the time in wholesaling. When I refer to lease option wholesaling as being a down payment flipper, it's kind of facetious to say it that way. But what I'm talking about is I'm talking about you owing a small down payment to the homeowner and collecting a larger down payment from your tenant buyer or end buyer, and then you have a spread, a down payment spread. So you've in effect made yourself a down payment arbitrage expert. Okay. Put that on your business card. I'm a down payment arbitrage expert, specialist. Engineer. That's right. A down payment arbitrage engineer. Because that is an important payday right there. I don't know about you, but I enjoy that front end money on the front end of a deal. Okay. Because don't you want to make money today? Okay. So for example, let's just give an example here. You owe down to the homeowner, and I'm going to write this down. To the homeowner, you're going to give them 2%, which equals, in this case, easy round numbers, $5,000. You're going to collect from your tenant buyer 5%, which equals, let's see if I can do the math. Let's just say 12,000. Okay. So you've got this picture here, real simple. This is the front end money. You collect a down payment from your tenant buyer of $12,000. You give 5 of that to the homeowner, and you keep a wonderful, wonderful spread, the difference, which is how much in this case? $7,000 in your pocket. Now, you could assign this deal and walk away. But if you're going to sandwich it, you're going to stick around because you're going to create 2 more profit centers. Okay, what are these 2 profit centers? Well, the 2 profit centers that are left is the monthly rental spread, number 2, where you will profit between the difference between the monthly lease payment made to the homeowner and the higher monthly lease payment received from the end tenant buyer. Okay, so again, the same scenario. And you see it says here, the rental spread represents a consistent source of monthly income for the investor throughout the lease option period. All right, so the idea here is passive, regular monthly income. So let's erase the option example here, and let's talk about monthly spread. This is where you're going to stay in the middle because you have found a homeowner who is willing to do the deal with you, let's say for $2,400 a month. Okay. So the homeowner wants $2,400 a month, and then you're able to turn right around and list this property on the rental market and find a tenant buyer, all right, that comes in and is willing to pay monthly rent for the place. And in your rent to own offer, they're willing to pay $3,000 a month. Okay. And that creates a monthly spread of how much? Well, the math is pretty simple. $600 a month. So that doesn't sound like you're getting rich, but this is a dramatic difference in profits between a wholesale assigned lease option and a sandwich. Okay. Let's just get a calculator out here and just play around. Now, if you were just doing an assignment, remember, you would have made $7K, right? $7K, and then walked away. All right, which is nice. I'm not knocking that. Excuse me. I do a lot of that. But when there's a monthly spread, my antennas go up. Beep, 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 beep. Like a money bug. Yeah. So like I'm all about now wondering, can I figure out, is this property worth sandwiching now instead of just assigning? Because I've found that there's a monthly spread. $2,400 is what the seller's going to be getting. The seller side, maybe his mortgage, maybe that's his mortgage with the PI and the TI. The payment, the interest, the taxes, and the insurance, okay? So everything it takes to keep that house, besides the maintenance and stuff, it's $2,400 a month, right? And then you're able to get rent. The fair market rent for the neighborhood is approaching $3,000 a month. You've created a $600 a month spread. Now, let's talk about 600 times 24 months. That's $14,400. Now, you guys like my little Casio? Is that what this is? My little Casio? Hey, you ain't got to have no big expensive stuff to do this. This is all easy, simple math. See, if this was calculus, I wouldn't be able to do it because I got a D- in calculus. All right. So $14,400 is what $600 is in a 24-month period. So if you have a tenant buyer that lives there for 24 months and pays $600 a month spread to you, that's $14,400. Now, let's just do a little more daydreaming here and do $600 a month times 36 months. If you had a 36-month lease option, you've heard me talk about that a lot. That's standard. You doggone right, it's standard. 36 months at $600 a month is an additional $21,600. What if you found a really motivated homeowner and you were able to contract them in a lease purchase sandwich deal where you're sticking around and you're making $600 a month and you do it for 5 years? That's 60 months. $36,000 just in monthly spread. Just in monthly spread. Now, if we were to add that $7,000 assignment fee that we were just talking about a few minutes ago, that would put us at $43,000 in profits. Okay. Now, we're not done yet, though. We're not done yet. 43,000. You see why being a sandwich expert becomes very lucrative if you just contract a few of these good deals. Okay. A few of these can go a long way. And you might be asking yourself, well, hey, how is it that you could find somebody? I know that he's like, in your mind, you're probably saying, well, it sounds great and all. He's talking about that, but how easy would it be to find a $2,400 a month deal where you could get $3,000 in return? Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say, hello, Mr. Negative. But secondly, I want to say, not that hard. Okay. And the reason for it is because if you have a motivated homeowner that purchased their property when the mortgage rates they were being lending money at 3.5%, all right, 2.5, maybe 3, it was low for a long time. They were it was almost a joke for a minute. You remember? Like they were giving money away? Oh, snap, they were. They were giving it away. Okay, so they got cheap money. Well, money ain't cheap no more. Snap back to reality, you all. Money ain't cheap no more. Here we go. $3,000. That's what they'd be paying today. Actually, they'd likely be paying $3,400 today. Okay. So let's just assume for our little modest example here, $3,000. So $600 a month times 60 months. What did I say that was? $43,000 with that assignment fee too. That not the assignment fee, the option fee on the front side. It's not going to be an assignment fee because we're not going to sign it and walk away. It's an option fee because we're going to stick around and we're going to be the meat in the middle of the sandwich. Okay, that's the second profit center. So let's talk about the third profit center. The third profit center is the equity growth. Okay, equity growth. What does equity mean? Equity is the difference between what the property could be reasonably expected to be sold for and any and all leverages and encumbrances that are placed on the property, like mortgages and liens and debts and all this, what all it could be. What's the equity? Well, after you sell the house for what you think you would be able to sell it for and paid off everything that's owed, what's the difference? What's the meat? All right. So investors negotiate, it says here, the purchase price with the homeowner at the beginning of the lease option agreement. I'm going to just tell you right now that you're coming up on a period of time where you're going to be finding homeowners that have the desire to walk away from their property for what they owe. Okay. If they put the pinch down on homeowners more, you're going to find more of that. All right. So that's going to immediately create equity because they're going to walk away for what they owe. They've been paying on it a few years, and now there's some equity there. instantaneous. All right. Those are the deals that I'm really looking for. If I find some great sandwiches, now they don't have to be that way to be sandwiches, but if I find some great sandwiches, that's what they're going to be like. They're usually going to be homeowners that are just ready to just walk away. Yeah, my payment's $2,400 a month. Take it over. Get me out of here. Okay. And I've given some examples of this, and I like to talk about examples. I'll give you an example right now. I was talking with a homeowner, and he's like, "Hey, listen, my wife and I, we're not having trouble, but she has moved to a different state because of work, and my job doesn't make as much as hers, and I need to move, and so I've got to sell this house though. So that's why I'm here. Does that make sense, Justin?" "Oh, yes, Mr. Homeowner, that does make sense." Okay. He's willing to walk away for what he owes. All right, so it says here, if the property appreciates in value during the lease option period, the investor, you, can benefit from that appreciation in a sandwich. All right. The difference between the initial purchase price and the current market value represents the wholesaler, or not the wholesaler, the sandwich artist here. Sorry. Potential equity profit. Okay. So let's break that down a little bit mathematically. Take a look here. All right. So you run into a motivated homeowner and you see that on Zillow, there is a zestimate of $323,000. Excuse me. Bread and butter. You used to hear me talk about bread and butter was $250K and under. Now it's $500K and under. Okay. Bread and butter is $500K and under. So you're running into a bread and butter deal. This is a pretty deal. All right. Pretty house. Doesn't need any real work done to it. It'll appraise. It'll inspect out. $323,000. Okay. Is what the zestimate is. And I'm going to write zestimate. Zest. Zest. All right. Now, the next thing, you're talking to the homeowner, and he has a story similar to the one that I just shared. He needs to move, possibly for different reasons. Maybe he had a job that went out of business, and so now he's moving to live with family. He's going to live in his sister's basement. And he's got to sell this house because he's bleeding out every single month with the payment. Okay. So he says, yes, I'm willing to just let you take this house over. Well, you might be thinking that sounds like subject to. Well, it could be. It could be. But what if you chose to do a simple under the radar lease option? That's all I'm suggesting. What if you chose a simple under the radar lease option? And the guy, because he put a down payment down when he bought it, he only owes $276,000. Okay. Do you see a potential profit here? 323,000 minus, where's my Casio? Okay. 323,000 minus 276,000 equals $47,000 in equity. Okay. $47,000 in capturable equity. Okay. When would this be realized? This would be realized when the tenant buyer buys the property. $47,000. Now, let's do some math here. Let's do some math. So the investor, you would get this money when you have a successful tenant buyer buy the property at the pre-agreed upon price. Okay. Now, actually, it would be a little more than this because of the equity growing due to the mortgage being paid down during the term of the lease. Okay, you might have to back that up if you're hanging on. During the lease, this mortgage is going to be being paid down every month a little bit, so it's going to get down lower. So by the time this person goes to buy, it'll actually be 273 or 272. So you're looking at a little more than 47,000. You're also going to have a little more than this probably because you're probably going to inflate this 323's estimate to accommodate for 2-3. I think what did we say? 5 years. This is a 5-year example for the 5 years of appreciation. So instead of 323, this is probably going to be 375. So that creates an additional, instead of just 47,000, the equity pay down might be another 3-4,000. Let's say that's going to be, let's say, 50,000, and then you're going to add on another 50,000 for the 5 years of appreciation, probably. So that would be another 50,000. See what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's like getting in the game shows or something, man. It's really wild how the money can stack. So let's just do some simple math and add this all up. Okay, so we started out with collecting on this example deal a $7,000 option fee. All right. So we get a $7,000 option fee in our pocket. And then we're going to add on to that. What was it? 30, I'm just going to call it, let's just do the math again. $600 a month times 5 years is 60 months. That's $36,000. And that's in monthly passive income. Okay. We're going to do the math more because we have equity when our tenant buyer goes to buy. What was that? Was that 48,000? What, 47,000? Okay. So just on a surface value helicopter overview of this potential deal, 47,000 plus 36,000. Okay, so 47,000 plus 36,000 plus the 7,000 option fee. Wow, is that right? Is that right? $90,000? Whoa. Whoa. If you were wholesaling it, you'd be making $7,000. But because you decided to sandwich it smartly, you collected all of this monthly income and the equity at the end when the tenant buyer buys, which equals 90,000. But remember, we were talking about the appreciation. So really, we're actually talking about appreciation, meaning the deal would be more valuable, and we're going to add on another $50,000 in appreciation. Hopefully. Yeah. And then we're also talking about, what else were we talking about? The equity being grown because the mortgage is being paid down. So let's just assume that that's another $5,000. It gets paid down $5,000 over 5 years. That would be 90,000 plus 50,000 plus 5. What's that? That's $145,000 in profits. Now, this is just an example, but that's $145,000 in profits. And I just showed you mathematically how it would work in the real world. So you can see how if you're just a wholesaler and you're just doing number one here and you're collecting the upfront option fee and you're never approaching the profit centers of number two monthly rental spread, or equity growth, then you're leaving an enormous amount of money on the table. An enormous amount of money. If you're just an ugly house wholesaler, there's two things wrong with that. One, you're leaving an enormous amount of money on the table with pretty houses. And then number two, you're starting over every single day. You've not created any passive income for yourself. Every month you have to start over. And someone please help me out, because I don't know what it means when so many people want to know how to go about finding 2 or 3 deals a month, but they never want to go beyond and find out how do you create any kind of a renewable check. All right, I don't know. We live in a weird world, and I feel like people have been trained to think like employees. And it just makes more sense to you if I talk in respect of, hey, do this for 2, 3 deals a month, every single month, like a job. But the reality is none of us really want that, do we? Okay, but so why are we all spending our time learning that? That's kind of where I've been thinking lately. Okay, and I'm a little guilty here myself. I'm preaching to the choir here. I'm preaching to myself. All right, so that is the 3 profit centers of a sandwich lease option. You can see here that we have a sandwich in front of us. This sandwich is comprised of, you know what? Why did the sandwich go to therapy? Because it had several layers of issues. That was bad. How do you organize a fantastic sandwich party? Make sure it's well stacked. That's bad too. Yeah. All right, so this is the seller. 1 slice of bread. The other slice of bread is the tenant buyer that you're going to find, put in the house. And it never made more sense to say than when you're doing a sandwich. Mr. Homeowner, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to put some good people in there. They're going to buy the house. But I know this has to first fit you. Okay. Now, in the middle, that leaves the meat and all that lettuce. All the lettuce. So, why was the lettuce embarrassed in the sandwich? Why was the lettuce embarrassed in the sandwich? You're the meat in the middle, but why was the lettuce embarrassed? You married this whole deal together. But why was the lettuce embarrassed? It's simple. Because it saw the salad dressing.
Shut up money in your Modeprinz face. Shut up money.
What?
I was gonna make some sandwiches. I could make you one before you leave.
Okay, make me some sandwiches. I gotta go to the mall and talk to somebody, and I'll be back.
How many sandwiches do you want?
A bunch.
How much lettuce do you want?
Welcome to my elite apprentice program for creative real estate investors and coaches. Hi, my name is Justin Chamness. I have over 600 career wholesale deals and have been coached over 350 students with an impeccable record of success. But today I'm here to help you launch your own successful creative real estate investment business. Are you wanting to free yourself from a soul-sucking job? Or maybe you just want to build a legacy, an income that will last. It's not easy, but it's definitely doable. That's why I've created this Elite Apprentice program to guide you step by step to make sure you know exactly what to do to succeed in this business. My apprentice program includes all of my courses, including virtual lease options, wholesaling, and sandwiches. Sub 2.0, this is subject to wholesaling, co-wholesaling, bank-owned and MLS wholesaling, and lots more. Plus, I'll personally mentor you. I'm also going to personally duplicate my lead machine just for you. That's right, I said I'll pay for the leads that you generate with your very own copy of my personal lead generation machine. If you're not familiar, this is the lead gen machine that produces motivated seller leads every single day. I'm also going to be here for you to help you close these deals over the phone. You'll schedule times with me on 3-way calls to close these deals with the homeowners. That's why people call this the Shut Up Money Shortcut. In this program, you will graduate in 60 days. You may decide to leave then, or you may decide to stay long term. You might even become a team coach, or perhaps you'll decide to cancel and leave anytime you're ready. I require no contracts to lock you in. My goal with this program is to create for myself professional future joint venture partners for joint venture deals. Also, future coaches that I can collaborate with. No one gets rich in this business alone. No one. So I'm building an elite unit of professional creative real estate investors and wholesalers. Are you one of us? You decide. Let me know. Or we could strategize for a few minutes and see if this is a good fit for you. Schedule a Zoom with me and let's find out. I'll see you soon.